How are we all doing so far? Are we all good?
We got
Well,
one,
folks,
one
I do spend a lot of time down here by myself. So I see faces in rocks like I see faces in clouds. And I found Medusa down here. I will point Medusa out to you. However, she will not turn you into stone because she's already done that. She looked at herself in the mirror. I'm going to put her out to you with my laser pointer. Here's Medusa's eye. That's her other eye. That would be her nose. That's her mouth. That's her whole head right there. Don't worry about her. She will not turn you into stone. Well, the rock maker right up ahead, I named him Rocky Balboa because he will knock you out, make you a concussion, definitely will give you a headache. So before we go into Snowball Palace, we're going to ask you folks to please do not touch any white rock formations. I'll show you why, and we have to duck around Rocky. He throws a mean punch, so duck you guys. You're going to die. Yes, folks, welcome to Snowball Palace. We call these snowballs, cave clouds, cauliflower, roasted marshmallow, even popcorn. The reason I ask you folks are not touching any white rock formations, back in 1927, the founder of the Grand Canyon Caverns, Walter Peck, said, go ahead and touch everything. You are seeing 40 years of touching on this wall. It acts as a sponge that soaks up most of the oil and acid of our hands, even hand lotion. That's why you can see a discoloration. Well, back in 1927, Walter Peck didn't have a luxury called flashlight. He had a kerosene lantern, and you are seeing kerosene lantern soot and smoke on here as well. This is a form of gypsum that you find in drywall, concrete, and in chalk. This is a waterway one time we called, this goes 50 feet back. Now what we do is, we have a tour guide that sends you in there, his name's Dave, and he does the Explorer tours. This is one of the places he takes you into. Well, one water hazard receding was receding down to the Colorado Aquifer, which is 600, 800 feet below us. We do have running water below us, by the way. We've tapped into this water source with a 2,800 foot shaft. And we put an orange water tank up above along with a pump, and we're pumping water out of this water source into the water tank, which feeds the RV park, the restaurant, and the motel. This has been found by the cavers by a radar system. They come out here twice a year, and I don't know how big this water source is. It could be the size of a river, or it could be the size of a lake. I'm going to have to find out when the cavers come back out this way. Again, like I said, this is an explorer tour, so David will take you down in here. You go 50 feet back, then David comes out of here along with his tours, and guess where you get to go? Right down here. And it's all water source. Yeah, where water goes. Where you do a lot of crawling on this tour. All right, this is really impressive, you guys. I have to talk to Paul and Ray, the cavers, about this because this is really cool. All created by the ocean 345 million years ago. Now, I think this is known as a tectonic plate or a slip fault. The reason I say this is because look where the two rocks joined together at one point. They all slipped in together while this was underwater, so water was creating lubricant and ball bearing. If this happened with it dry, there'd be so much friction going on, we have a lot of shaking going on down here. However, we have nothing to worry about, it's all done moving. If you ate too much crackers and candy in the Cuban Missile Crisis fallout shelter and you ended up with an upset stomach, well, guess what you can do? You can take this off the wall right here. We call this grape cluster. It has lime, calcium carbonation, maybe a little bit of Tums for the tummy. This is how Native Americans used to live off the land. They would take this off the wall, grind this up, put this in the water and drink it. I will not go this route. I'm sticking with Alka-Seltzer. If I went this route, I know I'm going to end up with a kidney stone, and I do not want one of those. Well, speaking about stone, you guys, I named this one Sharon Stone, this Emma Stone, and this is Rock Hudson. You will not find Chris Rock down here anymore. Oh no, he was at the Oscars getting slapped by Will Smith. All right. two guys. Sorry, dudes, I forgot you were there. All right, folks, this is a waterway one time we called this the mystery room. It is 318 feet below the surface right down there. The reason why we call this the mystery room is it's where we think we are getting an air supply. Through the cracks of the Grand Canyon wall, 65 miles away from here, and it takes 2 weeks for the air supply to reach this point. It's all done by barometric pressure, and it's all filtered by all this limestone. That's why we can breathe it. Now, we do know we're getting air supply through the elevator shaft, either going out the ancient waterways or 50-foot tunnel or the mystery room. It takes so much force of air to blow that 65 miles. We do not have that resource. However, we have cavers that come out here twice a year. They call this the Big Dig. This is their mining project. They've been working on this project for many, many years, and they are still mystified. They cannot figure where their supply is coming from. However, what we do is we supply with a helmet, has a light on it, give you guys elbow passy gloves. You go down there with a tour guide. We call this the Explorer Tour / Wild Tour. This tour is a 2.5 hour to 3 hour tour, and it does go way back there, 3/4 of a mile back, and it ascends up to 78 feet below the surface. A lot of hiking involved in this tour, by the way, as you can tell by our two tour guides. I named the first one, we had Skeleton. The second one I named Dr. Bones McCoy from the Starship Enterprise. For Bones, we got to bring his communicator with him, so Starship put him down here. By the way, folks, that is part of our skeleton crew. You know what's going to happen tonight when I turn all the Caverns lights off? They're going to go back on graveyard shift. Now, we have red markings on the pathway, and these are slip issues, so please don't step on those. You will slip and fall. You're going to see those on the way up Bobcat Trail, so please just sit on where we're grabbing. Use the railing before you step up.
You won't do that to her, would you? I'll do it.
You're going to be rubbing my knees when we get back.
Yeah.
How are we all doing? We all good? Well, in the year 2019, we found a bat down here known as a honeybee bat because of its size. And I'm going to point him out to you with my laser pointer. You can see how small he is. He's right there. He was found in this crevice right here. That means there has to be more than one bat down here. We named our bat Ozzy. Next to Ozzy is Bob, our mummified bobcat. We figured he fell through Walter's natural entrance back in 1850. Today, Bob would be 172 years old. Don't look too bad for his age, does he? At least he shows his teeth. Now, we took Bob's leg and hip to a pathologist and had him carbon dated. Bob was only 5 years old when he fell through Walter's natural entrance. Used up all of his 9 lives really quick. Well, Bob felt all the air coming from the mystery room when he thought he found an exit. We breathed all the limestone dust through his mouth and nose, and he mummified himself. Dehydration and starvation was the cause of Bob's death as well. The reason I don't see much fur in Bob's that when the miners and the cavers found him, they passed him around from hand to hand. Who in the heck would want to touch that? Well, especially a Robert. Exactly. Hi, Robert. Oh, Robert, I forgot. Robert won't talk to me anymore. Cat's got his tongue. Yeah. Guess where we found Robert? On eBay. Oh, it's amazing you can find on eBay these days. You know how Robert came out to us so in the strangest way? In a taxi cab of all things. Do you know what the taxi cab driver's name is? Dermy, it was taxidermy. I love the shell that Robert has on that back wall. Look at that shell, you guys. Uh-oh, he's gonna try and bite someone over there. Oh my God, I gotta stop him. There he goes. I have to ask Robert Shuttle, why the heck do you like to scare people? Is it fun? Oh, he says it's fun. Okay. That boy right here, watch his step. Or a little bit of old front. You guys might fell over and nasty. You can actually see his paw. If you can so Christ is small shelter. Please use the scripture for protection. Use the rain and you guide yourself out. Down there. I'll sure have girls have fun with that one. So make sure you guys get down okay. You should ride that thing. Put that on YouTube. Take a stroll through the caverns. All right, here we go, you guys. Watch your head. Headache right here. Stay to the left. Good for bathing, probably not good for drinking. Well, look at all this supply, guys. Labor intense. I don't see the labors anymore. The tents are all packed up. They must have left. Of the two caverns, this is our largest one. This is 260 yards, so for a play game. But first of all, we have to do something with all these supplies and do some of these rocks. The only thing we cannot do, we can't throw Hail Marys or punt because of low ceilings. Now, I thought I found a petroglyph down there, which is known as a Native American painting in the shape of a horse. I've been actually circling with my laser pointer. You can actually see the whole horse right there. That is oxide of iron, or just rust, an abundance of iron ore in a rock formation created by the ancient ocean 345 million years ago, which has salt water, a little bit of sulfuric acid, creating the acid etching. Mother Nature can sure paint. Now, when I found them, I didn't find them on the spur of the moment, and I'm glad I did not end up with hoof and mouth disease. I was in a horse when I found this guy. Oh man, you guys have an idea. Why don't we harness those three jokes, maybe corral them? I have a better idea. Why don't we put those three jokes on the gallop pole? Well, I named my horse Rusty, by the way, and you know what we're going to do right now? We're going to saddle him up, and we're going to giddy up and get out of here. But before you folks barnstorming, we have a low ceiling coming up, so all you tall people need to duck. And please do not stir up any trouble. Oh my God, you guys, I got a shilling on that one. I think we ought to make Rusty our main attraction. Low ceiling coming up, tall people need to duck. Good luck. Welcome to Man with Domes, 142 feet above the trail, 92 feet to the first shell. When the ocean was receding, going through an ancient waterways, our 50-foot tunnel and the mystery room was creating agitation, just like in your wash machine. That's why you see the smooth rock race right up above. So Bearcats play a great part to smooth out that rock formation as well. Now the red rock they see up there is oxide of iron, that's just rust, and that's what all this is, iron oxide. Well folks, you see what I see? I see two whale's tails. There's a whale's tail right there and another one right there. And I didn't find myself a fluke either. I did name my two whale shells, by the way. I named the top one Waylon Jennings. The second one I named Boston because he's a Boston whaler. Well, guess what, folks? We have one more hop to go. We saw a whale, but I named this one Wednesday. It was something.
Why did I agree to doing this?
Hmm?
Why did I agree to doing
No.
this?
You suggested to come camp here and that.
Yeah. My knees.
Wanted to go to Cinders, but it closed still.
All right, folks, this is a construction site. We're gonna try, they did all the cement work. Back in 1957, when the Reesby's family owned the property at the time, well, they had no way of getting any cement mixing equipment down there. The elevator shaft wasn't quite completed. So they did something very ingenious. They bored a 68-foot shaft. Did all the cement mixing up above, poured it down the shaft. You can still see some of the cement on the sidewall right here. Into the sluice box where all the cold cement was gathered. The laborers would put their wheelbarrows right here. This door's a little way up. All flow into the wheelbarrows. Very ingenious, by the way. Yes, work smarter, not harder. 20 laborers did all this construction. They did something very ingenious themselves. They split their team in half, so 10 of them worked from Snowball Palace in this direction, and another team at 10 worked from the elevator shaft in this direction. The reason why they did that is that when they were done pouring concrete that day, they had to flood this tube out with so much water to keep this tube clear. Where does the water have to go? Right down through here. So this was the first pour. All this would get washed away. Now, it does take sunlight to cure all this because we do not have that down here. They use a special chemical, which they mixed with the cement back in 1957 called catalyst, along with lime and chloride, creating a chemical reaction called heat. You will find those bags at your local hardware store. They call it quick and quick set. All you can do is empty your dry bag of cement into a wheelbarrow, mix up with water, and go on with the project. Well, guess what, folks? I had a concrete contractor on my tour, and he asked me, Dino, do you know how many yards of cement they use to pour the sidewalks? I said, I have no idea, but I can tell you use 3/4 of a mile of it. Yes, we do know the thicknesses. I said, roughly about 4 inches. He calculated in his head 650,000 85-pound bags of cement was used to pour the sidewalks. I hope that's a concrete figure, but go and cement that in your brain. 5 years of construction. We started in 1957. We opened up in 1962. Well, guess what, folks? You're going to be happy to hear about this. It's all downhill from here, just like my jokes. There we go.
Right behind you.
By the way, you left your teddy bear alive. What do you think of her? Is she cute? Yeah. That's my girlfriend. Yeah. She gets really lonely down here. Oh yeah, hi Gertie, how you doing? Oh my God, I know you're happy to see me. Her tongue's sticking out. Before I tell about Gertie, my girlfriend, I'm going to tell you about the discovery. Yes, this cavern was discovered back in 1927 by a gentleman. His name was Walter Peck, and he used to work for the Santa Fe Railway as a woodcutter. Well, Walter was on his way to a poker game to meet his poker buddies along with his brother Miles and Seligman